Hey folks, came back from an event this weekend called Protospiel, where I was playtesting Your with other players and game designers and doing some networking, and I had a fantastic time at the event. I want to summarize a few things about my experience there. First, it was an incredibly useful event to be able to just meet so many other designers and talk about the game design process and see some other games that are in development, and just very sort of inspiring, kind of gets me energized to continue working on the game. I made a few really awesome connections as well, so meeting other designers has been great. Got some feedback on the game and tried a few different things. First and foremost, I'm finding that the game still feels a bit too long, and I tried a few different things to make it shorter to some degree of success, playing with the starting life and potentially starting with some kingdom cards in play to speed up the first few turns of the game. It's definitely not balanced at this point in time, which is fine. The balance will come over time, but I'm not feeling too bad about it. The next thing that I noticed was that right now with my decks, I have 3 of the 4 sort of, not decks, but factions designed at this point. They just happen to be in mono decks. But one of the things that I noticed, especially on 2 of them, is that the level 4 kingdom card, I've only designed 1 for each deck right now, but the level 4 kingdom card I have is something that tends to slow the game down and grind it to a halt rather than push it towards a finish. So that definitely is something that I like to change. I think the slower level 4 kingdom cards probably are something that should be relatively few and far between, not non-existent, but yeah, gonna be trying to design something else there. I'm really trying to make an interesting decision for players whether they go all the way for that level 4 kingdom. Another interesting little bit of feedback was about some of the framing and the distribution of the layout on the cards and where the information goes and all that. So already at work on making some changes to the frames of the cards. I think people are going to really like them. They're pretty cool. And yeah, I felt pretty good about explaining the game. I got to see a game for the first time with 2 people who both were not me, were both new players, and see how it played out. Honestly, definitely recommend, if you are working on a game, to find similar events. This, again, it was called Protospiel, and it was specifically about prototype games in development, and people who are interested in playtesting those games. And it was similar to some, board game convention environments, but it was unique. It was totally different, never had anything quite like it. So definitely recommend that you check that out if you're working on any games, or if you're interested in playtesting games as well. There's a lot of really unique concepts and cool features. One of my favorite games that I saw there was a game called Get Effed in the Wild West. And it's sort of like a worker placement / 4X game with a Wild West cowboy theme, as you might guess. And of course, with Your having cowboys as well, I found some affinity there for sure. And it was very fun and kind of wacky. And I think I'm going to post a photo on Instagram that the designer took, because it was just a fantastic game. So if you are looking at games, check that out. And of course, another game I've talked about before, Final Strike, was there. Got to see that prototype, and it was super cool. Yeah, just all around lots of very cool creative ideas and cool creative people. And yeah, that's kind of it for my summary of Protospiel. I'm going to have the game at 2DCon Unplugged this weekend as well. So if you're in Minneapolis, come and see it there. Hoping to make a lot of progress on it before then, but we'll see how much actually gets done. I have a pretty busy week. So without further ado, signing off, and stay tuned for the next developer update.